Hello, world! I'm Chris Pirillo, and I'm slightly late for this live stream. I apologize for that. It's been a Monday. Enough said. Thank you for tuning in. If you have tuned in live, it's just yet another bonus. It's yet another bonus that you can get by becoming one of the patrons, aka the Super Nomies. You can sign up and support our endeavors starting at just $2 a month. Get tons of bonuses, including the Hangouts, which we do after these live broadcasts for TLDR, which a lot of people say they really like. That's what they say. I don't know if you're actually watching or listening. I assume you are, and thank you for that. Including in the simulcast podcast thing, whatever we post as a podcast separately. TLDR is got a simulcast as a podcast. Did that make sense? Maybe it did, maybe it did not. But I'm going to try something different today. The Hangouts have typically been behind the scenes talking, but I think starting today, I'd like to be a little more focused in terms of the topic that we talk about in these Hangouts, if you will. Kind of just discussion. Talk about one topic or another. And, I'll choose the topic or the series of topics for the coming week and let it play out, and everybody would be good to go. So, theoretically, everything will work just fine, right? You feel me? We're doing a lot, and appreciate all the support that you're able to give, despite any amount of confusion that I might have given you just now. A lot of interesting things happening today. It is apparently National Twinkie Day. I tested a Twinkie. I remember eating a Twinkie Wiener sandwich, too, in the vlog a long time ago. There are a lot of different Twinkies out there. I had no idea, including the chocolate cream-filled Twinkie that I did a review on. It was interesting. Not quite Twinkie enough, though, for me. That's a long story short, or a TLDR version. We've also posted 5 chocolate-covered foods that are unexpectedly delicious, because chocolate's fun. Come on, unless you're allergic to it. I don't know a geek or a nerd, well, unless they're allergic to it, who doesn't like chocolate. Just a little bit. Just a little. Even if you're not someone who has a sweet tooth. You like trying fun chocolate foods? Well, I know I do. We're posting the show and tell. My first Monte Cristo sandwich review. Yeah. See, come on. We all eat, right? I like trying new things and then sharing my experiences. No matter what those new things are, really. It's what I've done, seemingly, throughout life. Tried something new and then shared my experience with others. Now, if you happen to be more interested in learning how to code, fine. We'll save you 94% on the Learn to Code 2015 course bundle at deals.lockergnome.com. We also have the Neo NES giveaway. Remember the NES? The Nintendo Entertainment System. Am I the only one? Maybe not. The giveaway, of course, is free. Deals.lockergnome.com. And the Bobine, or Bobine, I never knew how I should pronounce that. I talked about the product a while ago, but they've got the ultra flexible iPhone 6 and 6 Plus. Plus? Doc? 6 Plus. It's the new iPhone name, the 6 Plus. 28% off the Bobine ultra portable, ultra flexible iPhone 6 Plus dock. Again, deals.lockergnome.com. It is Monday, so I'm diving into the open Facebook thread that I know inevitably when people post, the questions for me in this thread, they don't know I'm answering it, even though I've explained over and over again that I do answer the questions. The funniest thing that I saw in this comment thread was someone, Shane Hogan, who's likely not going to listen to me at all, says, when you said ask me anything, were you planning to reply? This is how long have we been doing this? This is apparently not long enough. I'm doing my best. So beginning with Sunny Mirza asks, who was your first crush except for Diana? Except from Diana? Well, Sunny, my first crush would have been Orange. Liam Cox asks, how are you today, Chris? A little frazzled. Thank you for asking. I appreciate it. Joshua Sitwell asks, does it seem to you like the Ubuntu developers have been slacking off? Seems like they made tons of headway in making Linux quote-unquote user-friendly, and lately it's almost gotten worse. I'm actually going to answer that question in a deep dive, a dedicated Q&A video, because I think it warrants deeper discussion. I've got my thoughts on it. It's going the right direction. Suffice it to say, that's my belief. But the function of desktops, or the role of desktops in our day-to-day life, has certainly evolved from the time when Ubuntu was really, brought about or made popular. Sonny comes back with another question. Do you think you will ever play Call of Duty? I did once. I think it was Call of Duty. I was like playing like a World War II guy. Was that Call of Duty? That was on the original Xbox. Wow, man, that was about 10 years ago too. Apart from that, I have no immediate plans. I'm not big into FPSs necessarily. I've watched, and I kind of get it. I understand why people would get into it, but it's not my thing. If I have a thing, that ain't my thing. Mason the Beast Bass asks, bacon wrapped chicken, is that a question? In my opinion, bacon wrapped chicken would be best if you removed the chicken and just ate the bacon. Phil Horde, an old friend, asks, what's next? It's a fantastic question. I've been up at nights and mornings thinking about that very thing. I don't know is the answer to that question. I really don't know. Other than to keep moving forward. The next thing's happening this year, the events, quite honestly. And I'm happy about that. Very happy. Hamza Ahmed asks, do you think Microsoft giving OEMs the green light to switch on permanent secure boot for their machines is fair for the power users who buy them? Is it a way to get more people running Windows instead of Linux? I don't think it's a way to get more people running Windows instead of Linux. I'm sure you could have, if you want to have the conspiracy theory, and I'm sure the argument could be made that that's what's going on. But more than anything, it could very well be tied into a secure computing experience. If you would rather run Linux on your PC, then you should get a PC that is capable of running Linux. It's down to the manufacturer as to whether or not they're going to go with that option or not. Completely up to them. I think Microsoft obviously has a horse in this race. They sell licenses for Windows. And so, to me, yeah, you could make the argument, but I don't know enough about it, apart from knowing that you have choice. Part of the beauty of the whole PC ecosystem is that you have a choice. If you don't like the way one OEM is doing something, don't go with that OEM. Period, end of story. So, to me, that it's a complaint, and I don't think you're complaining. I'm not saying you're complaining, but it's an issue, but it's also a non-issue. Because just go with an OEM or build your own. I can't fault an OEM for making the decision. The market will decide. I honestly, that's my belief, my perspective is the market will decide. If someone wants to run Linux or they want a PC and they want the ability to run Linux, they're going to go that route. Or they should go that route outright. If they want the flexibility of running Linux at any point in the future, they should make that decision when they go to buy the PC. It's all about being an informed consumer. It's all about deciding what you want before you try to go and get anything. So no, I'm the kind of person who doesn't believe it's a conspiracy, don't know enough about the subject, but to recap my answer, there are a lot of options out there, and if you don't like the way one OEM does things, go with another OEM. Katie Marie Henry asks, are you enjoying our bipolar Seattle weather? I love it. I wish it would rain year-round. That's just me. Maybe that isn't just me. Maybe that's more than just me. Alan Austin asks, has the Easter Bunny visited yourself, Diana, and Jedi yet? The Easter Bunny did come here. He went. He was in this location. It was kind of anticlimactic in terms of what happened. We did do a hunt, but I think people are going to be upset about how we did the hunt, even though I think we did best, or the best we possibly could, given all the circumstances. Given that Jedi is very, very, very young. She doesn't know how to walk. Yeah, she knows we exist, but she doesn't yet have a name for us. Next year's going to be different, right? A year and a half down the road. Well, for her, she'll be a year and a half old. I'm not saying that Easter is a year and a half away from today. Easter was this past weekend. So yes, and you can watch Jedi's first Easter as it's uploaded in the vlog here in the next few days. Andre Kothaus asks, since Indiana went back medieval, do you think they'll keep electricity and computers? I've got my position on this matter. I think Indiana's not the only state to have a similar law. I think it's asinine, personally. You okay? What was that? Oh, I heard something, but I didn't know what it was. Oh, she heard me talking. And you're taking my daughter away? Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. So, sorry. The joys of doing work at home. So yeah, I've got my position. Honestly, okay. It depends on which card you're going to play. I believe in human rights. Period. End of story. And I already know I'm on the right side of history. By not discriminating based on what is it, sex, gender, religion, background, on down the line. I mean, you're a human being. You're a human being. One human being is just as valuable as another in terms of their life. In terms of what they do with their life, well, yeah, of course, there are values all over the map. But that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that there are certain rights that if one person has the right to do something, I say that the other person should have the right to do something. Who cares? Who cares what they like or what they don't like? I also don't like. I respect religion and people's religious choices. I absolutely do, because it's a very personal thing. I'm like, I'm not going to sit here and say, hey, you should be this because I am. I would never do that to anybody. I mind when people use somebody else's name to do something that they shouldn't be doing. I think that's wrong. I respect the teachings of the Bible and Jesus. I appreciated that he made himself available to the dregs of society. Quite honestly, I mean, that's a core part of his teachings, right? I respect that. I respect that. It's not my thing, but I respect that. So if you're gonna do something in his name, understand that Jesus was all about the outcasts. He himself was an outcast. That's, according to the Bible or the mini Bibles. I'm not trying to get, religious here at all. And for anybody to say, Chris, you should just stick to talking about Star Wars figures. Well, okay, look, hey, I did not relinquish my citizenship the moment that I enjoyed a good Star Wars figure. B, I have an opinion just like everybody else. I have the ability to vote. I have opinions. And if you don't share my opinions, great. If you do, awesome. It's the way it goes. We can agree to disagree on PCs and politics. And you know what? We can still get along because there are a lot of things that we have in common too. So anyway, I think Indiana is going to come to its senses sooner rather than later, as well as the other states that have similar laws, because everybody deserves equal treatment. And if you believe otherwise, then wait until you're discriminated against for one reason or another that you can't necessarily control. Wait until you're discriminated against, and then see how it feels. Just see how it feels. Yeah, just saying. Don't sit there and think that you're never going to get discriminated against. Everybody does. But remove those barriers. Treat everybody equally. Hey, you know what? Here's the thing. I get to know you for your usernames, typically. I don't get to know you for you as a human being. It's one of the reasons I love the internet, right? I get to know you. I don't necessarily know your face. I don't know your voice. I don't know your name. I don't know your anything. But I know that we get along because we both like Star Wars figures. Or we enjoy talking about the trends in technology, not just the workaday iPhone versus Android stuff. I mean, that's boring. Everybody does that. I like getting deep into topics and talk about how all these things influence the world. Technology is awesome, but it's just a tool. Pete Lemansky asks, what do you think about CryptoCoin or Bitcoin? Well, we had Veracoin as a patron at one point, and they actually looped back with me recently. Apparently, they've undergone some development. I haven't looped back with them. It's been a little busy for me lately. I think it's fascinating. It's not my thing. I understand it. But to me, if I had a word to describe that world, it's fascinating. Volatile, I would say, is the word I would use to describe it. Volatile. Amazing. Astounding. I think definitely paving a path to the future of a better series of ways to conduct commerce and to well, I guess exist, right, in this world, right? Money makes the world go round. But right now, volatile, that's it. I don't like volatile things. I'm very happy with non-volatile things, including non-volatile memory. Yeah, love non-volatile memory. Yeah, I do. Michael Clark asks, do you think Apple will eventually go the way of Roku and allow you to choose channels on Apple TV? Because many of the channels on Apple TV are subscription-based. Michael, I'd like to see him go that route. It's suggested, this is just a rumor, that they'll go that way. I think it makes sense to unbundle. And it takes time for this to happen. It takes time. It takes time. It takes time. In many cases, Apple's restricted by what they can get away with legally. Like, they got to deal with the companies that have the licenses for the content. But, the more we see entities like Amazon or Netflix, funding this original programming, the better off we're going to be, because it's going to drag those classic networks kicking and screaming into the next century. They'll have no choice but to adapt or die. I could look at some of my favorite channels and tell you that I watch 2% of what they might play. I love Adult Swim. I do. I'll watch, reruns of Family Guy, Robot Chicken, certain Adult Swim shows, but I definitely don't watch all of it. So I don't want to subscribe to a channel necessarily. I may want to subscribe to a show. Or it's got to come in a bundle that I'm going to better appreciate. And I'm nowhere near that right now. I don't mind cable, those types of television service providers, cable, satellite. It doesn't bother me. It really doesn't, because I've looked at the economics and it's like, well, you know what? It would cost just as much to unbundle and get exactly what I wanted anyway. So, it becomes more inconvenient for me, difficult to manage, and it's not really much of a payoff, apart from saying, oh, I've detangled, uncoupled, derezzed, what's the word for it? Cord pulled, port killer, cord killer, killing the cord, cutting the cable, cable cutter, whatever the hell the word is. I'm not there in my life yet. I do think Apple's going to go that way. I think the industry is going to go that way. Period. End of story. Hello, YouTube. You can get to anything you want. I watched a YouTube video that ABC produced about bronies. It was a positive video, and I only watched it because of this AMA thread. Hopefully we'll get to that question here as we roll on. Harold Burton asks, how drunk were you and the girls back when you did the 24-hour live show on Tech TV? Oh, well, first, it was only 18 hours. Second, we were not drunk. None of us. I was punch drunk. I was very tired. I got loopy, but no alcohol was involved. I can promise you that. Mark Lee asks, best way to recover a stolen iPhone? Happy holidays. Find my iPhone, man. That's why they built it in. Yeah. Best offense is good defense. After the fact, you could get lucky, but that was your best bet. Paul Andrew Bentley asks, if Apple stopped making products, what would you use instead? Windows, Android, Linux, or something else? That is a fantastic question. I would probably be looking for an app that would help my foot wake up. I was sitting on my foot and my foot fell asleep. Which hopefully I have not done to any of you. If you fell asleep, this is the sound of my voice. Come back, come into the light, step into the light. I'd probably still be on Windows, not thrilled with it, honestly, because, I would say the last time Windows really captured my imagination and attention was right in the day of Windows, I'm going to say XP. Believe that or not. Wasn't happy with Vista, y'all know that. Was fine with 7. Wasn't thrilled with 8. 8.1 was better. Cord cutter, thank you, Liz. Liz, you are the person of the day. Liz is the most awesome person. Follow her on Twitter. I follow her on Twitter. Pez Liz. I don't follow her on Instagram. Not really big into cat photos. Does the internet even like cat photos? I mean, Liz, I think you're outcast yourself. An outlier. Not an outcast. Outlier. That's what I was thinking of. No one uploads photos of cats to the internet, Liz. Just in your Instagram account. That's the only place you can find a cat on the internet. Liz's Instagram account. Liz. Yes, thank you. Cord cutter was the answer I was looking for. Windows. So I am very much looking for, if by the way, if this is the first time you've ever watched a video that I've done, this is me. This is my style. This is why I like doing live. I like talking. So, hopefully that's not a problem. The Windows 10, I think, is going to be a step in the right direction, but I don't know if Microsoft's offering the same thing that Apple's able to offer. So if Microsoft were ever to accelerate to the point where they'd be able to offer what Apple is able to offer, I'd be happier with it, but there's no parallel to Apple. None. It's not just about OS 10. It's not just about iOS. It's not just about Apple TV. It's about all those things together. And Microsoft still doesn't have that story. That's the and Microsoft's not the only one. Google's got the same issue, right? They're kind of there, and they're kind of maybe, and we got this going on, maybe not that, and it becomes a mess. Samsung, believe it or not, is probably the closest thing. Not to say that it is, or I'm drawing parallels outright, but yeah, you know, I'd probably be on Windows, but because I didn't see, there's no other choice. Chrome OS isn't where it needs to be. I could make that a primary OS, but I do video editing, and you can't do video editing on Chrome OS, so then I'd use Windows for that. I'm not a big gamer, so playing games on Windows, it bores me. I understand that might be your reason, but you're asking me for my opinion. So I'd probably be with Microsoft Windows on the desktop, and likely I'd probably say Android on the smartphone, if only for the app selection, honestly. I had a great idea for an app. I got to talk to my friend Eddie Ringel about it. I wrote it down as I was late. I woke up at 2 in the morning. Again, I've been having sleepless nights, worrying about a lot of things lately. A lot of things. And I'm stressing out, and I can't talk about it right now. If you really want to know, our model's changing, and I'm being forced to change. I have to shut down or adapt the classic LockerGnome.net website. Ad revenue just doesn't work for publishers anymore. It really doesn't. It's a struggle. And unless I'm able to find more patrons, doing content the way we're doing it is going to be very, 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 very challenging, because you know, I've got a team to support, and I'm trying to figure out how to get that team supported. So anyway, thank you to all my patrons. A nice reminder. Liz says, I post more than cat photos. Liz, I was trying to get you followers. Shh. What? Okay, she apparently posts great food pics. I was trying to get her more followers. People like cats on the internet. I was being sarcastic, but apparently no one could pick up on my sarcasm today. Molly Fanton asks, do you have any good iOS apps for visually impaired or blind people? I do not. That's not anything I really know about. Mike Gowan asks, who is the real Chris Pirillo? I think the vlogs are pretty transparent, probably more than a lot of vlogs. I mean, I pour my heart and soul into them, honestly. Have fun with them too, but that's the real Chris Pirillo. You know, I'll be honest with you. I'll be a straight shooter. You know, when I need to talk to you about something, I'm probably more transparent than most. That's my problem. Adam Horn asks, how long were you a teacher, and do you ever think you'll teach English again? I don't think I'll teach English again. No. It's not where my passions lie. I wasn't a teacher at all. I just student taught, and that's when I knew it just wasn't my thing. I'd teach on the internet. I'd like to do more teaching on the internet, but figuring out how to make money from that is a different story. Yeah, you could set up a course on this website or that website, but there are a million and one of them. You know, I've long believed that people want my advice. That's great. But the problem is that many people are not willing to pay for the advice they want from me. It puts me in a quandary, right? You know, if I go to a doctor and say, hey, doc, you know, I got this growth thing on my neck. Is that a problem? Says, well, I'll look at it, but it's going to cost you. Oh, well, I'll just Google it. I can Google it for free. There's a difference between knowledge and information. Just saying. I'm not saying I'm a doctor by any stretch of the imagination either. I'm just saying. Jackson Domino asks, how often do you use your Chromecast? Never. Honestly, I just don't use it at all. I don't have much need for it. It's fun to have, but you know, past the initial week or so, I'm like, you know, really, I'm not the use case for this. It's nice, but honestly, having an Apple TV is, you know, not to draw direct comparisons, because believe you me, they're completely different devices. Having iOS devices in the house, Apple TV is a better product. Not having any Apple devices in the house, if we were full on Android, Chromecast would probably get a lot more use. I kid you not, this is the question right now. I'm reading in order here. It says, Miximo Edith asks, how is your baby? Timing is perfect, Jedi. Someone's asking about you. Yeah, you. Y is for Yoda. Yoda. Yeah, Yoda. Let me get you up. There we go. Hey, Y is for Yoda. It's baby, and she's touching the capacitive screen with her toes, and flipping pages. She is doing very, very well. I haven't heard her cry in a while, really. Not just today, but she's a like an actual, yeah, like all out tears. But she's doing well. She's a good baby. This is what I'm saying. She's very happy to be here too. Didman Engstrom, and I'm gonna yield this question to Diana. Is Illuminati real?
I can't tell you that.
Oh, there's your answer.
I plead the fifth. What?
Hubert Mega. I didn't want to answer that question. The last thing I need is more trouble. Hubert Mega asks, would you rather eat a cheeseburger or a burger cheese? I don't know the difference. As long as there's cheese, I'm happy. I realize unfortunately I'm too low here. You can only get like Jedi's head. Okay, well, I'll lift you up then. There you go. Whee! Do you see yourself in the little window there? That's the iPad. What kind of bow are you wearing? Oh, that's a nice bow. Okay. You stay here and we'll answer the rest of these questions. Jorge Segara asks, what are your thoughts on Surface 3 and Microsoft's hardware strategy? So, Jorge, you also get the bonus of me diving deeper into your question in a separate video that I want to record this week. So you'll get your answer then. Surface 3, not to be confused with the Surface Pro, is Microsoft's latest piece of hardware. I don't have room for that anywhere here. I don't. She's trying to bring in the stool here. Okay. Griffin Cannon asks, is Vlogger Fair going to be at the Seattle Center again? I believe so, yes. And the save the date is on vloggerfair.com. Plus gnomedex.com. We've got an email form you can sign up for to be notified when GnomeDex is ready to be announced. That's for basically like a Vlogger Fair for nerds and geeks. Eventually, honestly, I think the way I've got to go and grow, with a lot of this stuff is going to be specifically in the area of events. If anything's going to allow me to survive as a content producer, producing events is something that I have done well in the past, thanks to having good teams throughout the years. I think I could probably do 4 different kinds of social video events. Social video, YouTube, Vimeo, Vine, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, video, and people who have social influence. Vlogger Fair for family or lifestyle, possibly food. I think food could fit in that category. We also have like the nerds and the geeks, like the comic book people and the tech people and the Minecraft people. That's 2 events. I think music could very easily fit into a separate category. And I just haven't figured out what that 4th one would necessarily be. Some might say it would be beauty, fashion, but since, there are plenty of those already, and we'll see which way Jedi goes. We'll see what her interests are. That'll be the 4th event that I'd probably produce on an annual basis. John Johnson, what were you doing on this day in 2003? You could look it up. You could do that, and you could tell me what I was doing. Diane Rivera asks, you have a lot of electronics in your home. Do you pay a lot in electricity? Do you know any of the best ways to save electricity? I would really appreciate. Diane, you also have the bonus of me answering this question in a deep dive video. Suffice it to say, some of the decisions I made, I'll put my money where my mouth is. I set things up such that it's on the recurring payment, like it's the same. It's a flat fee throughout the year, so that way I can predict what the payment's going to be every month, rather than being all over the map. You can do that with your energy company, likely. So that helped. But I made changes over the past year that dropped our bill by a third. We dropped our electrical bill by a third. Huge savings, and we stay at home. We're always at home, so it was a big deal. I mean, just some minor changes, so stay tuned for that. There are ways of doing it. I mean, definitely the lowest hanging fruit, quite honestly, light bulbs. Believe that or not, light bulbs. Yeah, big deal. Light bulbs, and get rid of your computers. Or upgrade your computers. Honestly, any of those things could be major draws. Kenneth Pocasangra asks, are you a Pokemon fan? I am not. Never got into it. Never got into any of the card collecting games necessarily. I understand why people are very happy with their Pokemon. I'm more of a fan of the Garbage Pail Kids These are not Pokemon. Although it'd be kind of cool. If Garbage Pail Kids ever did a Pokemon kind of thing, I would totally collect them. Yeah, Jedi, you will own the Garbage Pail Kids at some point in the future. You will. Steven Schultz asks, hello, my name is Steven, and I'd like to start a YouTube channel. Good luck. Well, it's easy to start. My friend has a 501c3 nonprofit organization. Gaming has always been a hobby of mine since I was in elementary school. I plan on streaming Twitch, playing video games, and giving all that money to the organizations. Do you have any advice for me? I don't know if I'd have advice other than just jump in and do it. Play what you want to play. People will find you. Talk about what you want to talk about. Do what you want to do. People will find you. And if they don't, well, maybe there are a lot of other people who are doing the same thing. Be yourself. Be different. It's like when I talk about TLDR, not just the news, but answers that you can use. And I don't just want to regurgitate the news. Anybody can regurgitate the news. The news isn't the story. It's everything that goes behind it. It's the insight, the analysis. That's what I like to layer on top of that stuff. Dear Chris asks, Pepperidge Fam Rimbaras. Boy, these names. I'm having trouble installing an OS onto an old laptop that has a BIOS password. Can't get in. I'm wondering if there's any way to install an EOS without taking apart the laptop and removing the battery to reset the CMOS. I would say that's about it. I mean, there's probably tools that you could get from less than upstanding places of the internet, but honestly, your best bet may just very well be removing the battery and resetting it that way. That's your safest bet. I honestly, that's probably the path I'd go down. Just that way I knew exactly what was going on. I wasn't downloading anything that I didn't know where it came from, who made it, etc. Alan Klink asks, when are citizens of the U.S. going to be fed up enough with some of the government's actions to peacefully assemble and do something about it? I've heard input on the cusp and ready anytime. What? Well, Alan, I don't really want to go into that right now. It's beyond my bailiwick. Suffice it to say, I have my feelings on that, and we'll save those feelings for another time. Is Moore's Law from 1966 still playing out roughly accurate? Memory doubling every 2 years, storage capacity too. I'd say for the most part, you may not think about it, but I retweeted this amazing graphic that compared the iMac from 2000 to the iPhone at 2010. And if you think about it, a decade made all the difference. Not only did you have a more powerful computer, but a substantially more compact computer that was more transformative. And certainly, I would say, well within the range of affordability. So, in terms of doubling every 2 years, it may not be as palpable, but and we may be reaching a limit in terms of what we're able to do. I don't know if it's just raw doubling, but I think certain aspects of technology double in some capacity, and I don't just mean in capacity, but double in some way, shape, or form over time, every 2 years. And it may not be something that's visible. Maybe, we went from 16 gigs to 32 gigs in 2 years. Or certainly, that became more affordable. It could be something that you were not, readily aware of, but certainly a component in the system that doubled over the past 2 years that, would certainly kind of bolster the remainder of the technology in any kind of ecosystem. Monica Ram asks, how did you end up coasting? Listen to me. Hosting Call for Help in the Tech TV days. She's going to watch this years from now. I was doing the LockerGnome email newsletter, honestly, and that's how I came on one of the reasons I came onto the radar. I also had authored a book on email publishing, and that got me an interview on the show, and they were looking for a replacement host for either Call for Help or the Screensavers, and there were a couple other things that happened, like a voting scheme thing. I can't remember how that, what all that was about, but after some screen tests, I was offered the position, and I took it. Amar Al-Shah asks, recommendations for someone looking to start a podcast. Suggest apps for Windows and Android too, if you can. I don't know if I have any app suggestions apart from anything that records audio that you're happy with, that you're comfortable with. A lot of people, podcasters specifically, like Audacity. I never liked Audacity. It works. I'd be happier and am much happier with GarageBand. I don't record podcasts that way. Not because I couldn't or shouldn't. It's because I haven't figured out, beyond this TLDR, a type of experience where we can take what I've talked about and push into podcast form. Works well enough. what I would do a podcast on separately, like once a week. You know, what topic would I want to dive into in a podcast? Usually dedicated on one topic that, you know, I'm intimately familiar with and want to talk about that other people might be interested in hearing. So start somewhere and grow from there. Try it, and if it doesn't work, stop doing it, or, you know, change it, pivot. You know, this is the internet. Things can change on a dime. Yeah, I thought about that. I've given serious thought to doing some weekly podcasts. I just don't know what they would necessarily be about and what people would be inclined to listen to. Okay, I think people are probably annoyed with Jedi Baby. Sorry, I'm not blind. That's the wrong word to use, but like I hear it, but I also have the ability to kind of tune her out.
No one gets annoyed with
okay. I'm just saying, some people out there. I was listening, but I had to stop because I can't take the baby. How are you? How's Diana and Jedi? Asks Sasa Druzanek. We're doing well. As you heard, Jedi is very, very happy. Connor Reeves asks, are you a brony? This is where that video came in. I'm not a brony. I have a couple My Little Ponies, a cheese sandwich and Doctor Who's, because hello, Doctor Who's, or Doctor Who. Dr. Who's, and Weird Al Yankovic, cheese sandwich. He voiced cheese sandwich. And then Alan came in and says, that brony story on ABC News was a bit unsettling. Don't want to hear nothing of that. It wasn't unsettling to me. Hey, dude, if it's someone's fandom, it's their fandom. Who am I to say? You know, it's like me getting mad at you because you don't like, you know, Cocoa Krispies cereal. You don't like Cocoa. That's just wrong. You're eating sugary cereal and you're a guy? That's wrong. Well, that's disturbing. What? Who am I to say what someone can like? Who's anybody to say? Hey, if it ain't bothering you, it's not bothering you. You're getting upset about something that you have no right to get upset about. Just tells me the kind of person you are more than anything. It's like, what? You don't like the same cereal I like? Get out. It just doesn't make any sense to me. What? You're not using the same smartphone platform that I am? You're wrong. What? You don't like the things that I like? You're wrong. What? Who am I to say? Who's anybody to say? Those are that kind of, it steers more towards bullying. You know, when anybody projects their own biases onto somebody else. We're all biased. We're all human. That bugs me. It bugs me when people say, "Oh, Chris, you are an adult, therefore you can't have fun anymore. You should be a grown-up. Not have fun. Grown-ups don't have fun. Be serious." No. I'm doing well enough, thank you, being myself. I'm happy with being myself. May not be a perfect Chris Pirillo, but I'm the most perfect Chris Pirillo that I could possibly be. So, you know, Alan, give bronies a break. Just because you're not a brony doesn't mean you should piss in somebody else's Cheerios, dude. Not cool. Not cool. Thomas Reed asks, if you were to play an instrument, what would it be and why? I was always fascinated with the piano. I wish I could play the keyboard or the piano. Just because I always liked it. I tried. I took lessons, but just never... wasn't my thing. Too much hand-eye coordination, dexterity, training. Just couldn't do it. I tried. Jean-Luc Thomas asks, why are rock show radio hosts so very annoying? Also, have you played Super Metroid on the Super Nintendo? Never really got into Super Nintendo. Maybe played 1 or 2 games on the SNES. Or the SNES. They're probably, quote-unquote, annoying because they're getting your attention. You know, they're drawing you in. And the more they can be, the better off they're probably going to be. Last thing you want is for someone to tune out. You know, if you get their attention, you got their attention, snap into their attention, you keep them going, keep them flowing. Energy, high energy, high energy, high energy, high energy, high energy. Bam! That's your answer. That's why I might be annoying at a completely different level. Whoa! I can't believe I've been talking for 40 minutes. Well, thank goodness we've run out of time and questions for this AMA. Thank you for participating. I do appreciate all the support that you are giving us. I am going to move into the Hangout, our topic of conversation today. I'll be talking a little bit more about one particular topic. This is something I decided to do like earlier And I was thinking as I was up at 2 in the morning, I'm like, we need to really focus on a topic, one topic. And I tweeted this out, and I think I also posted it to Facebook here. Give me a second. I'll give you the topic of conversation today. This is going to be a patron exclusive. So if you want to hear me talk more about this page loading, you can join us in the Hangout. And it'll just be long and winding around the topic of... Wow, I shared a lot of things on Facebook. Surface 3. I'll be talking about the Surface 3 in a talk today. My thoughts. I'm going to flesh out my thoughts about the Surface 3. If you want to hear me talk, you can join us. Become a patron starting at just $2 a month. That's just another bonus that you get. Today's talk about the Surface 3. Just for patrons. Thanks again for tuning in. Thanks again for your support. I appreciate you. I do love you. But at this point, I'm going to leave you to your own devices.